I always thought we were a normal family. My dad was the cool, funny one, always cracking jokes, always there. My mom? She was more serious, focused on work, always juggling a million things. I was 19, just home from my first year at college, and the house felt smaller than I remembered. But something about my dad felt different, like he noticed me more than before. At first, I thought maybe I had just grown up and he was seeing me as an adult. He complimented me more, said things like, "You've really grown into a beautiful woman. And you remind me of your mom when we first met." I brushed it off. It felt weird but not wrong. Not yet. When my mom told us she had to fly out for a 10-day work trip, I didn't think much of it. She traveled a lot. It was normal. I figured I'd have the house to myself, do some reading, maybe reconnect with old high school friends. But my dad suggested we make the most of it, just the two of us, hanging out. The first couple of nights, we ordered takeout, watched movies, and played board games like old times. But he was more attentive. He kept asking about my love life, my friends, whether I was seeing anyone. I joked it off, but deep down I felt him looking at me differently. He started giving me longer hugs, too long. His hands stayed on my back a little too long, his compliments a little too specific. Like when I wore shorts and he said, "That color looks incredible on you." But his eyes lingered. It wasn't what he said. It was how he said it. There was a tone, an edge I couldn't unhear once I noticed it. I didn't say anything. I didn't know how to. It was a Friday night when things shifted. We'd just finished dinner, and he brought out a bottle of wine. He poured 2 glasses without asking, like it was normal. I hesitated but drank anyway. We laughed more than usual that night, maybe too much. He talked about how lonely he'd been lately, how mom was always tired, distant, too busy for him. I didn't know what to say. I wasn't used to him opening up like that, and hearing him talk like a man instead of my dad left me unsettled. He looked at me differently, like I was someone who could understand him, not just his daughter. He told me I had a calming presence, that I made the house feel warm again. I laughed nervously, and he brushed a hair behind my ear. My entire body went stiff, but he didn't move away. I wanted to pretend it was nothing, that it was innocent, but it didn't feel that way. Then, without asking, he kissed me. Just a soft, slow press of lips that left my brain spinning. I didn't pull away. I didn't push him off. I froze. Afterward, neither of us said anything. I got up and walked to my room, but my heart was racing like I'd just run a mile. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept replaying it in my head, questioning if I had imagined it. But I hadn't. And I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even try to stop him. That kiss led to more in the following days. Hugs that lasted too long, touches that made my skin burn, and words I wasn't supposed to hear from him. I told myself I was in control, but deep down, I knew I had already lost it. It didn't stop. Every day after that, something new happened. A hand on my thigh during a conversation. A kiss when no one was looking. Late-night talks that blurred every boundary. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I stopped answering texts from friends, stopped going out. My world narrowed down to him, his words, his attention, his approval. I knew it was wrong, but the shame was buried under a twisted kind of comfort. He made me feel special, like I mattered in a way no one else ever made me feel. But the guilt started to grow louder. I saw a message on his phone one morning, a sweet, "I miss you" text to my mom. He still called her babe. He was still pretending everything was fine with her while doing this with me. That was when the weight of it all hit me. I wasn't someone he loved. I was someone he used to feel better about his own life. I started to pull away, but he noticed. He got quieter, colder. Then he told me not to tell anyone. Said people wouldn't understand, that it would destroy the family. I realized how far I'd fallen into something that had no future, only damage. I told my best friend. She stared at me in horror. Asked me what the hell I was thinking. I didn't have an answer. I cried for the first time in weeks. Not because I missed him, but because I finally understood what had really happened. It hadn't been love. It had been control, confusion, and a twisted emotional trap I walked into without knowing how deep it went. And I couldn't unfeel any of it. I couldn't pretend it hadn't happened. I ended it without a word. I packed my things and left a week early for school, ignoring his texts and calls. I blocked his number, deleted every photo, every trace of those days. But erasing what happened wasn't possible. It followed me. I stopped trusting people. I couldn't look at my mom without guilt eating me alive. She still called, cheerful and loving, unaware that everything between us had been destroyed by something she never saw coming. I wrote a letter to her once, confessing everything, but I tore it up. What good would it do except destroy her too? Therapy helped a little. I told the truth for the first time in that room, and the weight of hearing it out loud nearly crushed me. I had to learn to call it what it was. Manipulation, not romance. Abuse, not a relationship. I hated myself for letting it happen, hated him for making me think it was okay. Some days I still hear his voice, and a part of me misses the version of him that made me feel less alone. That's the part that scares me the most. I haven't gone home since. Holidays are excuses, phone calls are brief. He tries to sound normal, asks how school is going, but I hear the lie behind every word. I think he knows I'll never come back. I think he's waiting for me to slip and tell someone. Maybe I should. Maybe silence is protecting the wrong person. But I don't know if I'm ready to reopen that wound. All I know is I'll never be the same again. That summer ended who I was. And whatever I am now, I carry it alone. Because no one's supposed to understand this.